So I'm going to bring up the first person tonight. He's here alone, but he's part of a couple. So Jeff and Kelly. Jeff is with us tonight. You can turn on your camera and your microphone, Jeff, and we're going to get started here.
Hi there.
Hey, Jeff. Welcome to the case study. Thank you for coming back and giving back like Lifestyles ask everyone to do. And so, Jeff, well, it looks like you have a beautiful family there, a little large family. So tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, my wife and I, we've been married for about 28 years now. We have 5 children, and we literally just this past weekend or 2 weekends ago married off our second oldest son. So we still have 3 more at the house, and I'm employed full-time as a general manager at a sign manufacturer, and my wife is a stay-at-home homemaker, but she's also homeschools all of our children. So she stays busy, probably busier than I do.
Absolutely. Well, excellent. Let's go to the next one there. Okay, we've already covered that. So tell us how you found Lifestyles and why you decided to join.
Well, I had dabbled in real estate a few years prior to even hearing about Lifestyles. It just fascinated me. I'd heard different programs from, several different operations out there, and I had grown up in a construction household where my father owned a couple of floor covering stores. So I had been tied to the construction industry, and he had tried to build a couple of houses. So it was just something it wasn't foreign to me, and I just felt like there was something out there that I could do that could, just like the speaker was saying earlier, just get my time back with 5 kids and working full time and all the activities. I needed my time.
Right.
And so I had dabbled in it, and it just couldn't make it a go. I would make some money and then lose some money, make some money and lose some money, and then all of a sudden I heard about Lifestyles.
Okay.
So so Lifestyles, it was a godsend. It was, at first when I heard about it, I thought it was too good to be true. And then as you step through the program and you work your way through and you get to the weekend seminar, I just kept saying to myself, if this can happen, this is the way to do it.
Excellent. Okay. So we're going to talk about a property you own on Johnson Street, and this was quite the ugly property when you found it. We like to say that we don't want to buy these nice, beautiful homes. We want these homes that are in distressed condition. The uglier, the better. And we walk in. I see a dog walking through this property in the before picture, and we like those smells. We call that the smell of money. So it looks like the before and after there. So you had quite the substantial rehab. We're going to talk about the numbers here in a second, but this was your 3rd property, I believe. Is that right?
That is correct.
So Jeff and Kelly already had some experience when they took on this large rehab. When you see these numbers, if you're brand new, like when I was sitting in the audience the first time, brand new, this would scare me as a brand new person. But you're not always going to jump in and tackle one of these large rehabs on your first property. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. So I'm going to just kind of run through the numbers, Jeff, and then I'll let you talk about them. So you found the property, and it had an appraised value of $175,000, but because of the condition it was in, you were able to pick it up for $78,000. And then your rehab, again, this was a large rehab. So again, for the new people, don't get too scared off, because we have properties where people buy with rehabs, $15,000, $20,000. We have some properties that are almost no rehab, but this was a large one. And then with the closing costs of $9,500, that left you an equity of $22,226. And your cash out of pocket was $20,769. So like David talked about in some of the earlier parts, you made 100%, 107% from the time you bought the property until you had it fixed up and the loans done. And so you more than made up your money back just when you bought the property. Now you're renting this property out for $1,575 a month. That's almost $19,000 a year. And your cash flow is $532 a month, or over $6,300 a year. And that's a 31% cash on cash return. So those numbers are fantastic. And when you look at the cash on cash return, this is compared to leaving that $20,769 in a savings account, earning less than 1%, or a money market where you're going to make, 0.5%. are putting it into the stock market and following the ups and downs of the stock market, where, you know, if you have a good year, you're going to make 10 or 15%. I know there's been some rises in the stock market recently, but to make 31%, this is going to be a cash on cash return year after year after year. And so, you know, these are the kind of numbers you get in real estate. And this number, this 31% cash on cash return compared to stock or anything else, this is tax deferred. So you're not having to pay taxes on this money. I see David's popped in with something to tell us here.
Well, because it's very exciting. He made over 100% return. And I don't know if Jeff knows this. There's a technical term in the industry. If you make over 100% return, Jeff, do you know what it is?
No.
Sorrell does. Sorrell, what is it? It's a Dave Fisher term.
It's peeing your pants exciting.
It is peeing your pants exciting. It's just like my speech. It's like perfect. I said you make between $200 and $600. Here you make over $500. I mean, good job, man. That's awesome. Good for you.
Appreciate that.
Excellent.
But this wasn't the only one you bought, was it, Jeff?
Well, this is my third property. So
Right.
Yeah, so we started
in
our first property. We started small. We didn't have hardly any rehab to it. The second one we had a little bit more, and then this one was a big one. So this was a step out of our comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide.
Okay, here's your portfolio.
Yeah, so this is your portfolio. So your first property, you had some issues, a little bit of issues with this one. So you didn't have a lot of cash flow initially, but is it cash flowing now?
Oh yeah, it's it was. It actually, I think the numbers are actually reversed on this. I didn't have any equity in it when I first did. It was about 515 cash flow per month, which for my first house was my most important category, was just getting some cash coming in.
Yeah, I don't know who put the slide together. Somebody.
Yeah, the equity numbers are all wrong, people. They're wrong. It's those numbers are.
Watching, this is my fault. Jeff did not mess this up.
That's okay. Terrell, do you have a college degree?
I do.
Sorry?
Yes.
See, I don't, and I can see that's wrong.
So on this one, you made actually of over $500 a month cash flow on this property also. So the first property. The next property was on Harmon Street. So tell us a little bit about that one.
So that was kind of a mid-size, it was kind of a mid-size renovation, I guess. It was about a little over $20,000 renovation, and I bought a house that had already started a renovation. I guess whoever sold it ran out of money, and so I just took it over and was able to get somebody in it pretty quick.
Yeah, I am not dyslexic, but all these numbers are reversed. So the cash flow.
So Jeff, I just have a real question for Jeff.
Sure.
Do you know what your cash flows each month on your properties were around for all these three? Can you let us know real quick?
So it was about 515 on the first house. It was 385 on the second house, and then this one is right at what 515, 525.
So average about $400, right?
Right.
On each. Right. So it's within that 200 to 600. I'm telling you guys about. When I do my speech, this is great. These are like doubles. They're not even base hits. I mean, you're really doing good on the cash flow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, so tell us a little who's on your team, Jeff.
So I've used Moon Kim is my realtor there through Lifestyles, and just does a wonderful job for me. All my deals have been done with AMP lending. They do, they just do a phenomenal job of just making it easy to get through the process. Along with Red Door funding. Red Door is the hard money, AMP is the conventional side. And then on this property, I used All-Star Contractors because it was such a large rehab. I went total 100% with a GC just to make it easy, so I didn't have to spend a lot of time at the property. And then we did have a little termite issue, so Bug Time Termite and Pest Control came out and did a wonderful job for me also.
Okay. And these are on the vendor list. So Lifestyles, when you're in the markets we serve, Houston, North Texas, Central Texas, and also Phoenix, we have a vendor program. Monique talked about that at the beginning of the process. And so these vendors were available, and you had to put them on your team and get them to help you walk through this process. So these are all good vendors. I do want to we'll talk about Moon, the realtor there, the agent. And I know this is Houston specific. I know there's people listening from everywhere, but the realtors who come through the Lifestyle system and help members find these properties are just phenomenal. And I want to point out from Moon, the Moon is and all the realtors in the greater Houston area, and I always get the number mixed up, it's either 35,000 or 45,000. Moon was #1 in number of properties sold in Houston last year. So, Moon's the top, but we have a lot of great realtors on this team. So these people find these ugly, dirty properties that can turn into these kind of numbers, and they bring these to Lifestyles. So let's go to the next slide, please. All right, tell us a little bit about how Lifestyles is in the process of changing your life.
Well, so, you know, learning how to do real estate the right way is the most key piece of what Lifestyle does. And so, you know, we wanted to just plug into something where we could have someone just guide us through to help us, you know, add this cash flow to us. And, you know, I come from a background where I'm in the construction industry, and that 2009 to 2012 period was very difficult on our family from a financial standpoint. So we were at a point where we basically were starting over again. And you know, having a system that can teach us and guide us through how to earn cash flow on a monthly basis, so that we have a light at the end of the tunnel that we can replace the income that I bring to the table, is second to none. And so, you know, it's basically just check your ego at the door, submit to the mentors that you have, the education systems you have, and just do what you do. I can't stress or emphasize that enough, that it's been a blessing for me and my family. And you know, the ability to make more money on the properties now. When we first started, I didn't have a huge amount of time. When I got that first property, I was in the middle of implementing a computer system, and so I actually went out and tried to have a management company manage the properties at first, and then through your help, Sorrell, you know, just learn how to take that over myself and do it on my own. And it's probably been one of the easiest transitions that we've ever done.
Excellent. Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jeff, but I just want to correct one little thing you said. You said submit to the mentors. And so, you know, Lifestyles has a wealth of education. So we encourage you, remember, to go through all the education. And then, you know, mentors are here to help guide you, help you analyze properties and make those decisions. But it's not a submit to the mentors. It's your business. You're doing an excellent job of running your business, and you come to me when you have some questions, and I help guide you through that process. But we're not dictating how you run your business.
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct.
Okay. All right. So what's next for you?
Well, the next is we're just gearing up to buy that next property. We're zooming towards it because the cash flow, having 3 houses now with a good return, is building up the bank account pretty quick. So we should be able to hit that 4th house as we get into, you know, at least in the 2nd quarter of next year.
Excellent. So I think we have time for a few questions. So David, Rizika, or who's doing the questions?
Yeah, you can ask questions, but I have a really quick question for you, Jeff.
Sure.
Compared to rate of returns before, when you were in your 401k or IRA or stock portfolio, to what your 4 houses are doing now, how's the difference in the return? Well, 3 houses. How are they doing compared?
Well, first off, the money's real, so it's depositing in my account every day, which is phenomenal. So the rate of return that we had on our 401ks that would go up and down depending on what was going on in the market or what was happening. It was just maddening watch it, because it's just incomparable.
Good. Okay, David, you got some questions for us?
I do.
David's with me over here.
On the first one, what was the square foot bedroom bath on that property, the one that he shared?
The property that I shared right here at Johnson.
Yeah.
It's about 1,700 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. It's really a 3-bedroom with a loft, but I marketed it as a 4th bedroom, and that's the people who lease the house or rent the house. They're using it as a 4th bedroom.
There you go.
Says it looks like the first property mentioned had about a $1,700 capital gain, but the slide said the capital gain was over 100%.
No, I'll go back to the numbers. Let's look at them.
Too far.
Whoops, that's way too far. There we go. So you have $20,000 cash out of pocket, and then you have $22,000 in equity. So that's over 100%.
Yeah.
The person's trying to subtract the one number from the other. That's not what you do. Okay, this $22,000, if you add this purchase price plus the rehab plus the closing costs, there's 22,000 they made. Okay.
Was that appraised value similar to area comps?
Yes, well, I mean, that's the appraised value comes from, the appraiser comes from looking at the comps that are around within a certain area of that house. So yes, sir, it did.
And one thing
Yeah,
is
so no, an actual bank appraiser went out there. They went out there and appraised it. Jeff don't come up with that number. The realtor don't come up with the number. The actual appraiser from the bank did when he did his refinance loan on this.
Did you escrow?
David, one quick. Jeff's going to teach that. I'm sorry, David's going to teach that this weekend. When you before you even make an offer on this property, you're going to have a good idea what this property is worth, and you're going to see comps. You're not going into this blind.
Yep. And I'll show you every step of the way how to do that. Sorrell's correct.
Do you escrow the properties?
I do actually. I just want to keep it simple and have it as one payment.
I think we have time for one more question, David.
There you go. One more, David.
Okay, let me see which one now. I've got
He's got a whole bunch of them. He'll pick out one. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So, let's pick one more.
Oh, here's a good. How long do you plan on holding these houses for?
Question is, how long, Jeff, do you plan on holding them?
Oh, it's a great question that I'll end up asking Sorrell over time. But at this point, as long as they can cash flow and as long as I can keep pulling equity out of them, there's no reason to get rid of it.
Yeah, one of the things that that's not quite it, but we'll talk about
it. I teach, Jeff.
What's that?
Rule number 3. Do you know the 3 rules of investing? Rule number 1 is never lose money. Rule number 2 is must have cash flow. What's Dell's 3rd rule? Do you know what it is?
No.
You can't get rich slow. You have to be willing to let go of what you have for it to become. So when you have 20,000 equity, what does that mean? You can buy another house. So about every 3 years, you fixed up everything beautiful, sell it and buy 2 more with that money, and everything's new again and it won't break down. When you hold them too long, they're ticking time bombs. That's just my advice. What do you say, Sorrell?
Absolutely. And when you mentioned you're talking to me, but talk to me or talk to the realtors, and we're going to help you decide when it's time to. You have 2 options. You can either do a cash out refi and buy 1 more, or you can sell the property and buy 2 more. But either way, you want to double that cash flow. That $532 cash flow, you want to double that every couple of years, every 2 to 3 years.
And just so you know, Jeff, you're doing great. You're doing awesome. You're going to be making like 60 grand a year from your property suit. I just know that. Don't get comfortable. If you want to go from 60 grand a year to 120, 120, 240, you have to let go and double up. It is very hard to do when you start making money when your 401k was crap before. I understand that. A lot of members go through that.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for coming back and sharing this with the membership tonight, and we really appreciate it.